Yeah, Blake, man, I've heard a lot about you and your ministry, and I was curious if you could describe kind of this movement that happened. And first of all, describe Missouri State and kind of like what was the culture and spiritual climate of the campus where this movement happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, let me just say I'm so excited to be here talking to you guys. I've been looking forward to this all week. And of course, Shad, you've had such a big impact on my life. I remember my sophomore year, man, I was so ready to live for Christ and live for eternal things. And someone introduced me to the Fuel and the Flame and invited me to be in a small group. And I'm sitting there reading that book my sophomore year, just eating it up. And so I'm really excited be a part of that. I'm excited you guys have a revised edition of the Fuel and the Flame that's out, and I know that it's going to continue to impact people. And so a lot of those principles I used whenever we launched STUMO, or our campus ministry at Missouri State. Um, Missouri State was a campus that we learned there was not as many people following Christ or with a spiritual background as at Arkansas. I remember when we showed up, I met one of the campus ministers who had been there for 20 or 30 years, and he said, "Man, we've done a really good job of reaching 15% of the campus. Now we've got to figure out how to reach the other 85%." And man, a light bulb went off my head, and that became my prayer. It's like, how do we reach the other 85%? But there was a lot of students that would come from St. Louis and Kansas City who did not have much of a spiritual background, or there was a lot of Catholic students. I hadn't ministered to a lot of Catholic students. And so the great thing about that is they absolutely believed in God. They just hadn't studied the scriptures really well. And so it was really neat at Missouri State. As I would meet people, people almost knew that they were not saved. At Arkansas, to compare and contrast, every student I met there was like, "Oh yeah, I'm saved."
Right.
But they couldn't even tell me the gospel. So I'd almost have to like help them realize that they weren't saved so that we could save them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have to work hard to get them lost before we can get them saved, don't we?
Right.
Ephesians 2:8 and 9 becomes a key verse that you have to really unpack with them, helping them see that it's salvation by grace through faith, not as a result of works. And I just got to see a young man come to Christ here recently, last couple of weeks, that that was his background of works, and now he's understands salvation by grace.